stream. What's up?
MarkJon
MarkJon.
podcast. Welcome back to podcast number 24. I think we should just hang out for like 5 minutes until 9. What do you guys think?
Yeah, dog.
Dude, who's here?
Dude, you don't.
Who?
Hey, thanks, Greg and myself for hosting.
Oh my god,
us.
Those guys are the best.
I agree.
Well, you
Thanks,
should.
Greg, I like those people.
For hosting.
Oh, I can hear myself. Shh, don't do that. I heard myself for a second.
Oh, you were listening to the Twitch?
Don't worry about it.
By accident. By accident.
By purpose.
I want to play a tiny bit of music while we're waiting.
By purpose.
Just a little bit. Just a little background music. There we go. I have to look... Dude, I feel so edgy right now, though.
Dude, you look so edgy right now. I mean...
Greg, do you like
your
this
tank top
look?
could be black, and your sweatshirt could be black, but...
Yeah, no, but I'm like a scene kid, you know? Like...
Yeah, you got... It's all
like,
black.
yeah.
More black, dude. Oh, and if you put on some
could never
eyeliner,
understand wearing
that
black.
would do it right there.
This cat ear hood thing needs to be black, too. Just like my soul.
Then it went into the dishwasher. No, it's not black anymore.
Honestly, the dishwasher is also my favorite game ever.
Oh,
Bro,
that's
it's
the
an
one
indie
by
title.
The people
It's
that
by
did
Ska
the game.
Studios. You go around, you're a vampire dishwasher, you work for a thing, and then the people were like, oh, you can do this, and then you beat the shit out of them. That's like me incarnate, you know? Like, I'm gonna go fight somebody and be a dishwasher, and then be a vampire.
Everything you've said on this day hurts me on the inside.
John, this is what happens when you make me stream for 6 hours.
Things get a little interesting, shall we say.
Yeah. Well, we should
I
have
get
set like
tired.
an end time then for the afternoon.
You
stream.
set like an end time then. You set
Mark,
an
you
end
need to
time.
fix your thing on Skype. It's like taking
What?
out too much of your voice. You know what I'm talking about? Your noise gate.
What is
Who?
on Skype?
Me?
A penis
Hey.
have been summoned. I have been summoned.
Hello.
Hi, Tiger.
So, did you just summon yourself by saying penis? Is penis your summoning word, Tenstripe?
You'd have to assume so, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Do funny shit, please. We don't need funny shit here. This is all serious all the time.
Always.
Always.
And forever.
Greg, what are you talking about with my noise gate, by the way? Because I have no idea.
In Skype.
Nothing happened. I have no noise gate on Skype.
Alright, well, never mind then.
Brunette Delicious.
Hey, Brunette Delicious,
Lovely.
how do you like my new look?
I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies.
I am the most serious person
I'm really glad you're
on
wearing
this
hat.
show right now.
That hat for this?
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
You could go with this, or you could go with this hat. You could go with this, or you can go with this hat. And this is where it's at.
Oh my god, no you didn't. You went
So
there.
the,
Did you like
are
that?
saying
I was
that
slightly
the hat
impressed
is
with
not where it's
myself.
at?
Chant the magic words and I will appear.
Penis.
You look kawaii as fuck. I look like a fucking... like an actual anime character.
Oh boy.
Like the guy, like the one dude in the anime who's like, you're not really sure if they're gay, but like
They might as well
they
be.
probably are, and then like, yeah, I don't really know. You're like covering up on the arms. Well, I mean, like, this is just who I am now. So, oh shit, audio's out of sync.
Ooh, rip.
Oh fuck, I forgot to fix that from earlier.
Rip skins.
I will fix it. I will fix it post. Okay, our audio should be fixed now, I think. Or my audio should be fixed now. I think you guys was fine.
My audio.
My audio.
My
Mark is
video.
so much louder. Okay, I'll turn myself down a little bit. There we go. I think that should be everything. Are we good?
Who knows?
Alright. It is 9 o'clock. Guess what that means? That means it is time for the start of the podcast. Welcome to the MarkJon podcast
boys.
number 24. One shy of 25.
That's a lot, dude. That's like a quarter of 100.
It really is. You mean?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I suppose so. Anyway, I just saw the chat and just saw my pussy. Started losing it. So don't forget to follow us on the Twitter, the Facebook, the YouTube, here, etc. You know the fucking works. How the fuck is everybody? How you doing, Greg? It's Greg. Greg's joining us for the podcast. We don't have a Steph today. Steph just moved out yesterday from the house, so that wall no longer shared with Steph. That's now empty room. So she's unpacking at her new place. So for the meantime, it's going to be me, Mark, and a good old friend of Greg. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
Friend of Greg. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
Friend of Greg, also known as Greg. Yeah.
I mean, you know,
got a guest star.
Gotta be your own best friend.
Mark's our guest star.
Hi.
Hey, welcome to the podcast, Mark.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm here to bring you the hipster culture of the youth. Yeah.
So, what's new, man? What's going on?
But recently, I've been playing Fez while drinking chai tea lattes.
I've heard that I know the soundtrack to that's really good, but how's the game?
Xenia, thank you for the host.
Thank you, Xenia.
Mark, stop being emo. 7, never forget. This is Marky's good twin. Why am I the good twin? The other Mark is way cooler than me. He's way cooler, less edgy.
I like how he's got an E in front of his name. It's good.
No, it's Emorky. Emo-orky.
Oh,
yeah.
I figured it was just like Mork, like Toast.
Mark, what the fuck you wearing? I'm being my true edgy teenage self, yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
At least you're not a teenager for this phase, you know? You're more emotionally mature now, so it'll probably last a lot longer.
Have you guys eaten any Cheetas recently? They're pitas, but with cheese, but vegan cheese infused with them. Very healthy. It's trending now on Zagat Guide.
What scares me is I don't know if he's actually speaking any kind of truth.
I'm pretty sure he's joking, but I'm also there's like a 10%.
It's the outfit. It's convincing you guys that I'm not joking.
Like, I'm pretty sure he was, but there's also a good chance.
I am joking. I
hope so.
Okay. What if I take off the hat? You guys will understand better. So 1 second.
Why not more food? Who knows if it's good or not?
Xenia says, guys, what if I made a pumpkin gift notification?
Ooh.
Be pretty tight.
That would be a pumpkin that moves. That's crazy. Pumpkins don't do that.
I am reborn.
I love statements like that are just like very obvious.
What happened?
Like, you open your laptop, you turn it on, it's just like, wow, the screen lights up. Did it.
OMG was Marky the whole
time. My favorite kind. I like that, wait, I have to think about this backwards. Yeah, if I point that way, I'm pointing at John. There we go. I figured it out.
You were more so pointing at me, dude.
On the thing. But,
well, either way,
look
I'm
up and like, yeah. Hey guys. Hey, what's up? What you guys doing up there?
I was waving back at you.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
Literally, the moment I waved at you, you moved over, so I was looking over here. You moved over, so I was just waving at empty space because you literally scooted over.
Yeah, I moved my whole body.
Damn it.
You gotta be like a boxer.
So you gotta duck and dive, yeah.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
So we have been on hiatus for the last 3 weeks. No podcast or anything. Sorry to everybody about that. We kind of just got caught up with life, classes, and all that stuff. So while we were on hiatus, fucking E3 happened.
Fucking
Jesus. E3 occurred, and we were just sitting there like, I was sitting there every Sunday like, are we doing the podcast? Shit, I gotta study. I can't do the podcast. I'm sure like both Steph and Mark were both saying the same thing, so we're just like, damn it. So I kind of want to just talk about that. What do you guys think? Yeah?
Yeah? Go for it, man.
Dude.
First of all,
go.
Xbox One X. Do you like the name?
I think it's dumb AF, but I do like that What's the word I'm looking for? Acronym. It condenses back down to Xbox.
I find that funny too. I actually but I realized that like a week after E3 had happened, I was like, oh, that's nice.
I appreciate it because it seems like someone up there is self-aware and they've chosen to double down on everything is just called Xbox now. So I mean, grandparents and parents of children be fucked. Like, good luck trying to find the one that they're talking about now. But it's kind Grandma, of funny for people who do know. So I guess that's something.
I gotcha. Grandma, can you get me an Xbox? Okay, which one? The 1991 or the 1999 one? Excuse me?
Yeah,
why do we want it that?
Yeah. There's Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox 360 Elite, Xbox One, which is not the first Xbox, Xbox One S, Xbox. Wait, no. I guess Xbox One X. It's not SX, is it?
No, it's X.
So it's just Xbox One X.
It's too many, dude.
It's just actually silly.
It's dumb.
It's a bit much.
Oh, Xbox One, Xbox One, Xbox One, Xbox
One. Logical. Like, what's the next one gonna be called? How do they recover from this?
Xbox One, Xbox.
Xbox One, Xbox.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense though. Like, at least Xbox One X it's an Xbox One, and then they've added an X to it.
There's too many X's.
It's true.
What if they should have just gone and went to Xbox?
They should name it the Z box.
The Z box. It's perfect.
Yeah.
No, we gotta go Y box.
Nobody expects you to iterate downwards in the front of your product. It's always like iPhone 2. They never go to like the U phone, right?
Yeah. The
hey,
U phone.
Fuck
or the
chronological
QS4.
order. Fuck
QS1?
chronological order. We're gonna say the L box.
The L box.
Oh.
Hey guys,
box.
you hear the H box 90 just released?
Xbox XXX Hot and Sweaty
It's
Edition.
into a world where the product itself is the parody of the product.
Oh my god.
Like,
well, then we're gonna have...
normally you'd go and get like it would be called like I don't know, like a K box or something, and it'd be like that's the knockoff Xbox. But no, that's just that's it. That's the K box now.
It is. No, then we're gonna have Nintendo DS syndrome, where they're just gonna start rambling on with like.
We're gonna have
more
Kingdom Hearts
names.
syndrome. You're gonna have the Xbox One 356 5 days over 2. Then Xbox drop Tristan's dreams. Fucking.
I was hoping more companies would go the Wii route of just making up sounds and calling their systems that. I think that would be a much better way of naming things.
With the Xbox pew 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 or something.
Yeah, exactly. Not even Xbox, just Microsoft's pew pew pew.
Xbox, more like the Y box. Nice.
Got him.
Nice.
So what if they named it the PlayStation Wilhelm scream, but not Wilhelm scream, but the actual written out?
Oh, like they spelled it out. But it's still PlayStation though. It's just got to be the Wilhelm scream, and then we're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new.
You have to yell it every time you want to talk about it.
Jesus, like the people for the public, like the people who would be doing the publicity for it would just have like a sore throat by the end of the week.
And then of course they'll announce Skyrim for it like a week later. So
yeah. Hopefully, anyway. That's the idea, right? I want to get to the point where I can play Skyrim on my phone.
We already can.
I want to be able to. I want to play Skyrim while I'm like walking my dog. Like that's the idea.
You technically can.
I want it on my refrigerator.
Yeah, I want it built into my dog. I want it. You know the shoes that have the TVs on them. I want it to run on that.
I want to play it as a mini game in Goat Simulator.
Well, that's what I think about Xbox One X.
Yeah, that was a good. I'm glad we went through that whole ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
Portable VR Skyrim.
Xbox more like Y box. I agree.
I already said that one, John. God.
That was okay. See, I was hearing Y box as in like the letter Y.
Yeah.
Not like Y.
Yeah.
Y box. Yeah, that's the.
Porque box.
What she meant.
Okay, Didn't catch that. No, the biggest thing for me though was because I don't know how many cross-platform games go over with Nintendo, but they announced that both Rocket League and Minecraft would be cross-platform.
Except for PlayStation, because Sony is a big bag of dicks.
Yeah, but let's face it, you all play mostly PC games, right? Or on PC, so it's not really going to affect y'all.
No, I think if you're already a PC gamer and you want to get a console just for some exclusives or whatever, the PlayStation is definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
But if you are a console gamer through and through, there's not, like, other than the exclusives for PlayStation, there's not really a huge reason to get PlayStation anymore, other than the exclusives.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, like, we joke about the name of the Xbox One X, but the specs on it are actually, like, pretty fucking good.
I mean, its graphics card is okay. It's finally, like, up to date.
Console, it's gonna be able to run some nice looking games at a solid 60 frame, like, just 60 frames, especially at 1080. 4K probably not. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if it can push 4K.
Minecraft in 4K.
People say you can run 4K, but like the CPU on it is nothing special. Like the CPU on it is worse than like my laptop's CPU, and my laptop is like pretty old and shitty. But the graphics card is impressive, I'll give it that. But they definitely, you can tell they cut some corners when it came to the cost of the CPU, and that's. I mean, there is the chance of bottlenecking itself when it comes to like lots of artifacts on the screen. They can make it look pretty, but they'll have to cut down on like particle effects, on render distance, and all that stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, you gotta understand though that like with Xbox, you're packaged and just given that, right? So for a lot of people who got to build their own PCs and get every single aspect of it top of the line. I mean, that's being able to basically deconstruct it. If Microsoft did that with their Xbox, I mean, I feel like people would be sinking thousands into their Xboxes, and this would have been done for years on end. I mean, if they could find like different kinds of parts, the argument would be then why don't they implement all of those parts into the Xbox?
That's the thing, right?
But then, then that's like, why not just
it's just
do
not worth
PC
it. Like
gaming?
Anyone who's willing to take the time to switch out parts would have already just made a PC.
Yeah,
exactly. And at that point, you're talking about loss of profit for Microsoft, because either way, you're still getting your profits based on the actual personal computer parts.
I think Windows is still the most widely bought operating system, so Microsoft is making money regardless.
Oh yeah. Either way, like they're still, whether you go PC or Xbox, they're still making money off of it.
Yeah, that's my thing, right? Like if you already have a PC, I think PS4 is the way to go, because getting an Xbox would literally do nothing for you. All the exclusives are on PC already. But
well, granted, this is the Microsoft Store, which is shit.
True, but like you have access to it, and if you go the Xbox route, everything's on the Microsoft Store. So.
Hello.
Like, what's up, Kyler Dirchers BPS?
Hi.
What's up?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess straight exclusives, I would say obviously the Switch or a Wii U or something, because you will never see those games on PC, most likely, which is disappointing. Because
without getting a cease and assist.
I'm saying, like, if Nintendo was like, hey, let's put our games on PC, I would be like, shit, yeah, I'm gonna buy like all of them. Because like if I had access to Breath of the Wild and HD 1080p 60 frames per second consistently, oh dude, please, I would gladly play that. You know, I would love to play a Kirby game on my PC, but like, oh well. I mean, they're exclusive to the Switch, so that means, I mean, it's kind of a selling point, but it's also making their market like very, you know, tight knit. I guess they're kind of sealing off any other like extraneous, you know, but they also want.
How Nintendo's always operated though.
Yeah, I mean, but they've
always sort of been the oddball,
which kind of sucks though. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
They did put Bayonetta on Steam though.
Well, because that was a property from Sega. It wasn't a Nintendo property. Although, did they put Bayonetta 1 or 2? It was 1 only, right?
I think it was just the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. See, Bayonetta 2 is a Nintendo exclusive, right? So they're not going to let Bayonetta 2 or possibly Bayonetta 3 come out, because those basically say Nintendo bought out that franchise. I mean, that's why they can. Because Bayonetta 2, from what I understand, was a fantastic game, but because the Wii U didn't get a big audience, that game just didn't get a following for it.
Hey, Kyle Roger, this is BF. Thank you for the follow.
Oh, thanks for the follow. I wish I could see the sheep. We're no longer like sitting in behind the couch to like pet it. So
yeah, only Bayonetta 1 on Steam. I just checked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, Bayonetta 2 was pretty good. Like they actually had like a lot of exclusive stuff built into the game. Like you had like a bunch of different outfits for Bayonetta. Like it was a very strong game, but it's just a shame is that it's only Nintendo and they won't allow it to expand beyond the Wii U. Because I doubt they'd ever port it into the Switch. Like I really don't think they would.
Why you butchered my name? Sorry.
We love you nonetheless. Sorry, buddy.
Well,
I'm not good with names.
Clearly, Mark doesn't because
use camel case so that you can freaking distinguish which. We're gonna break the freaking name into pieces.
Use what?
Camel case, where you like capitalize the first letter of every word in like.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't realize that there was a name for that. Like how my name is.
What'd you guys think of Assassin's Creed Origins?
I don't really care about Assassin's Creed. I don't know. I'm not really interested in the series, and the trailers I saw didn't do anything to interest me in the series. From by the looks of it, if you like Assassin's Creed, it's more Assassin's Creed, except different now. I guess there's less pips on the map. It's more about exploration or something. I'm not even sure.
Wonder where they got that idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you like Assassin's Creed, it's probably gonna be an alright one.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I know about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Assassin's Creed is like, I mean, trying really hard to do something, but they're not really sure what they're doing. Where like Shadow of Mordor is like a really, really good game, and it kind of
like
hits
$5 right now.
Yeah, it hits every note that I wanted Assassin's Creed to hit and more. So like, I'm just waiting for Shadow of War. Like, I don't care about Assassin's Creed anymore. They kind of were like a little stagnant for quite a while. And Black Flag was the only good one because it had the least actual Assassin's Creed.
Interesting. Yeah, the Shadow of War was announced as well. Was that announced or was that already like out there?
It was announced a while ago, but they showed more, I think, at E3. And God, it looks really good. Like the Nemesis system, they improved it, and it was already really good. Do you know what that is, John?
No, I don't.
Okay, so basically, like, imagine in Breath of the Wild if there were like special Macablins who were like super powerful, and they all had like these special properties. Not only do they randomly generate these properties, they also randomly generate like the guards that they have. They randomly generate the name of the dude, and when he sees you, there's like a chance that he can like, if he kills you, he'll get promoted. So like, this is basically the whole game is to go and assassinate these people. They're like super powerful, and they'll have like random events that they do. This will be like, oh, they're having a Karagor fight. They're gonna go prove his worth by fighting a monster or whatever. And you can like go and interrupt it, or you can like superpower the monster. Or you can light him on fire or something so that he runs away scared, and then it'll like demote him, and then you can like incite political like uprisings against each other, and it's really, really cool. Like, and their names are like randomly generated, and they'll like have lines of dialogue where if they killed you before, they'll be like, haven't I seen your corpse before? Or they, when they're like locked in combat with you. It's really cool. Like,
that sounds fun.
Not only that, they're upgrading the shit out of it, so you can have like your own army full of these like randomly generated people, and like if some like random NPC becomes like a war hero, they'll like become like a general in your army. It's like pretty fucking cool.
That sounds interesting. The problem is that I don't have a computer that can run all that stuff. You know, like basically all my exposure to these kinds of games comes from doing MarkJon with Mark. So a lot of these things that like people are super excited for, I mean, we were talking. We did a stream earlier today for Breath of the Wild for the DLC stuff, and we were talking about Ori and the Blind Forest, and we were talking and saying that my computer probably can't run it, just because I've got such a weak computer, and since I'm always on the move, I can't get a real PC. So it just that's kind of like why a lot of people will end up going to like a console versus a computer, just because like they can't afford it or they're just on the move so much. I really do wish I could play stuff like Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, and everything. I mean, basically that's one of the big reasons why I got the Switch. I mean, mobility. It just makes everything so much easier for me.
You can get a powerful laptop. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that's
Tiger
actually
said.
a good point.
They are
very expensive though.
Yeah.
Even the powerful laptops are very expensive.
Well, they're more expensive than desktops for like half the power usually.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
So it's for some people, it's just kind of hard to do all that stuff. Real quick, for everybody out there, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. Don't forget to send us a question of the week. If you guys want us to ask a question that we can answer at the end of the podcast, we always answer one every week. So if you guys want to send one in, there's the email. And hope to hear from you.
Brunette, your nickname will be Bruce. What's up, Bruce?
Who's Bruce?
Because
gotcha.
Brunelicious said "yeah, bro" to Tiger, and then she's like, "You're a bro, Lynn," and then said, "I know a man," and now Brunelicious is Bruce.
Cool, nice to meet you, Bruce.
How's it going, Bruce?
So yeah, speaking of Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisps was announced.
What? I just got Ori and the Blind Forest. You can't announce a new game on the day that I get a game. Or I can't hear about it on the first time.
Did you not know that was coming?
No. Stop.
I thought you watched
for a while.
Yeah,
No.
like they announced it like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, well, I wasn't paying attention clearly.
Xenia is saying she lost her shit. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm more excited just to see how the soundtrack goes. Just because I like the music for that game so much. But yeah, that looked interesting. I didn't see too much gameplay of that, but do you guys know anything about Cuphead?
Yes, I heard it was delayed like 15,000 times.
Yeah. But it's got
I'm
release
sorry,
date
you
now.
guys were both talking. What was that?
It looks real fucking sick, and I can't wait to play it. And I'm happy that it has an actual release date now,
Right?
instead of just sometime.
And being pushed back constantly.
Well, it never had a release date though.
No, they were like, well, maybe summer, and then they're like, okay, maybe winter, and they're like, okay, maybe next year, and they're like, maybe spring, and they're like, okay, maybe, okay, we'll give you a real date.
Yeah, I think the real date at least lends it some credibility. Before it was just kind of like speculation, like, oh, it might be done. Like, honestly, I'm okay with it being delayed. Like, I don't see a problem with that at all in the slightest. If a game needs to take more time, I see nothing wrong with giving it more time.
Yeah, I got
If it's finished already, though, I find it hard to believe that they would keep delaying it. So
yeah. Well,
I'm showing a trailer for it right now, by the way.
It's just very good that they were able to actually show the style of that time. They did a really good job of reimagining it almost.
yeah, it was like one person that did most of the stuff, I think, for it, right?
Yeah. It's just really impressive to me. Like when anybody can do that.
It looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it really does look great. Yeah, like the.
I mean, it just looks like it's straight out of like the 30s and 40s.
Honestly, as long as the gameplay is up to par, I could play this just for the aesthetic alone. Like,
yeah, it does look
childhood memories watching Tom and Jerry and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It looks fantastic.
Also, I feel like it's a weird place for me recently because I've heard of a lot of like games that the ones that do go for that aesthetic are usually horror games, I guess. Like,
well, there was was it? Inky and the
yeah, that one. Inky and the something whatever. It's like they had that same aesthetic, but it was like focusing on a print studio that was making like comics about this character that was very much like Mickey Mouse, and it was a horror game, and they had like that aesthetic, but like put into a 3D world, and I'm like, man, Inky and the Deviant Art Machine. Because there's a lot of like DeviantArt drawings of it or whatever. It's like, it's pretty good, but also I don't know, for some reason I can't get the feeling, or I can't help the feeling that like Cuphead is gonna have some weird horror theme to it, but I don't know, that's probably just me being weird.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I mean, it's like a 2D like shoot 'em up.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, dude.
It might get a little dark, but I don't think it'll ever be horror. And even if it does get dark, everything will still be like, everything will be like dancing around for their idle animations and stuff, you know?
Who remembers Simpsons Hit and Run? What was that game about? I never played it actually.
It was like an open world like Simpsons world where you would just basically drive people around. It was like Crazy Taxi, but it's Simpsons.
Oh, I was about to say, isn't that the one that was basically Crazy Taxi?
I played a shitload of Crazy Taxi.
What was that, Greg?
I played a shitload of Crazy Taxi.
I only played it in arcades every once in a while. I never even knew that it had gotten a home release until like years later.
I had it for PS2.
It was amazing.
Used to play that shit for hours.
Good game. It was like a GTA clone. Interesting, huh? But with Simpsons,
sort of. I mean, you can get away with a lot of stuff in that. But what one game that I was really interested with was they announced it after Cuphead. I think it was Anthem. You guys heard about that or no?
Oh,
that's the MOBA PUBG.
The super cringy voice comm faking thing too.
Oh wait, no, that was the the BioWare one.
That was the Destiny's version of Destiny. I mean, Microsoft's version of Destiny.
If that game was interesting at all, that trailer completely fucking ruined it.
Yeah, dude.
Really?
They were like, should we go take out those people? And they're like, nah, dude. It's there's another one over there. Oh, that's some good loot. And they're like,
It was just like the trailer gave an indication that they had no idea what gamers were like, and that's not a good thing when you're trying to market a game.
True.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing, right? Like with a lot of those stuff where they're trying to be like, this is live gameplay. I just don't give a shit about what's going on, and I end up muting it and just watching what they do.
Yeah, that's
just
fair.
Visually speaking, it looks like it's a blast.
It does. It looks cool. You can fucking fly around.
So
there's so few games that let you just fly around.
Just Cause 3, but
that's Just Cause 3 is a great game.
but
there's so few.
Why is there a pumpkin? Yes, but like the thing I see about Anthem is like they were like, oh, look at these crazy weather effects. We have to get out of here. And it was like a crazy fucking like storm, and all they did was just like run, and nothing happened to them. Like there was no effect that happened to them whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, then what's the point of the weather effects? And the gameplay, like the gunplay, didn't look super amazing. It just, I mean, what is it doing to set itself apart aside from like the flying? I saw nothing like discernible about it. Why don't I just buy a game that I know is going to be like pretty good, like Destiny 2? Not to mention it's coming out to PC now through Blizzard Launcher.
Is Destiny 2 going to be good? That's a question. I don't think it's guaranteed.
I don't think it's going to be guaranteed, but Destiny 1 was like pretty good, like not bad.
I will concede if I can get like 3 or 4 people to get Destiny 2 for PC, I'm probably gonna also pick it up.
I'm gonna get it. Dude, I would totally play that.
Definitely.
Quick hello to Basically IQ, Matt Mary, and Erica for joining us.
Hello. And Belzy 3 whatever. I don't know how to say your name, but hi.
Hello.
Oh yeah, of course, Belzite is what I said, but
Same thing. Hi, Mary.
We just put the phonetic pronunciation of your name in chat.
Yeah, I need you to
and then everything
spell it out for us because we're dumb.
Literally,
could
you
be
gotta spell it out
Street.
for us.
I don't know, because Destiny, like, to begin with, just those kinds of games kind of were a hit and miss with me. Like, I enjoyed, like, Halo, like the whole Halo series. I really appreciated, but just something about Destiny just was very not enjoyable for me.
I know. I'm sorry, Mary. Yeah.
I think it's hard because Destiny and Halo, they mechanically perform super similarly. They look just about the same. The story probably was about as impactful as the new Halos.
Destiny's story? It was not good. It was actually in the beta. They had a fantastic. I'm sorry. I think the alpha
was sick.
Apparently, they had like this really cool setup and like very similar in like structure to like just a really cool story and like great voice acting. And then when the game came out, they completely scrapped it and went with something different that was way more boring. And like I saw clips of the alpha footage from the like the setup for the beginning of Destiny 1, and it was like really cool. I was like, oh fuck, where's this going? And then it's just boring. And I was like, why is it doing that?
But yeah, I think you can't like. It's super similar to Halo, but I don't think you can think about it like Halo. It's essentially an MMO.
Oh yeah. Well, because like I've got Shelby's dad actually plays it a lot. I know. It's just funny for me to see like a 50-year-old man is like playing it religiously.
That's what does it for you.
Oh no, absolutely. And I'm sure when Destiny 2 comes out, you know, he's going to be right on top of that. But it's just I've sat down and watched that, you know, and watched him play it for like an hour, and I was just sitting there like nothing about this looks appealing to me. I mean, like
it's a super not fun game to watch.
I'll also give it that. Same thing with ARMS. ARMS is very boring to watch, but you actually sit down and play the damn thing. Holy shit, it's great.
It's different, I think, with Destiny because a lot of the stuff that makes the game good is happening in the background. Like the shooter mechanics and stuff are the in-between bits that connect getting loot and leveling yourself up as a character and like making yourself OP.
See, the thing is, though, Greg, the die-hard players of Destiny will be at the level cap for like 99% of their career. So basically, most of the actual game then is going to like raid missions and then dying repeatedly and then finding like loot that's 2% better than what they already had.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not at that point. It's not really about the shooting mechanics. It's about I need to get this thing that's better, and then I can show off to all my friends, and they'll be like, oh dang, you got the thing that's better. Good job.
Yeah.
And also, like it doesn't sound fun because especially when you explain it like that, and it's definitely not fun to watch. But when you're there, it's kind of like, oh, like I completed this thing, and then as a reward, I got a thing that was better.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being a part of like, for my case, like a football team, being on the field and like actually fighting and competing versus just sitting there watching you, not really understanding why, they just lost some game. I don't know why they're crying, or I didn't, but some people would. Right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's a matter of you don't quite understand because you haven't invested yourself into that actual game.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sort of like to the casual observer, it would just be, they lost a point there. But to you, you're like, maybe if I dug my cleat in just a little bit more, I wouldn't have slipped and I could have gotten to like the ball or something. And it's like all this extra background stuff that's going on.
Yeah. It's with anything, really. I mean, just there's a certain passion that goes into something when you actually put your own hands to it, as opposed to just being a casual observer.
See,
the
thing is, though, like with criticism and like watching a game, there is a lot of things that play into it, obviously, like that you can't necessarily tell just by watching it all the time. But I think a really good, like someone who's really strong at breaking down game mechanics and seeing what just happened and understanding why it happened the way it happened, like that's why, like, when I initially picked up Dark Souls, I hadn't seen any footage of it whatsoever. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know anything. I put the game down and watched, like, I think that was one of the reasons why I watched Northernlion so much was because he played a shitload of Dark Souls, and then I started learning the mechanics and seeing what he did, and then like understanding the ins and outs of what was happening, even though they never tutorialized or talked about it, and being able to emulate that and put it to use in a way that was like meaningful and helped me progress. It helped me like be able to see those things. Like, man, maybe he did, his cleat slipped a little bit. Maybe he could have done a little bit better here. But being able to break that down helps you come at something with more critical eye, and I think that's good.
Well, absolutely, and you're not wrong at all. But you have to also have put in your own time to even get there. So,
not
like
necessarily.
For example, yeah, you could sit there and watch a football game. Sorry, I keep bringing this back to football, but this is the best example I have. Yeah, my dad, who hasn't played a lick of football in his entire life, he can sit there and he can be like, you should have done this and this and this, but because he hasn't actually gone through some of those plays or some of those instances, I'll catch something that he won't just be like, look, if he doesn't do it this way, this will be the response time. He won't think that way. There's a certain something about having your own experience that really plays into it. Yeah, you can get invested, but there's just something lacking if you haven't put in your own time to it. Does that make sense?
Right, but that's where like just experience in general with like games and like what it's like to have your hand in the on the controller while something is happening, and knowing that like if you were to be in that same situation, you would have been able to react in the way that you had done, because it's like become habitual. Like with Dark Souls and in Breath of the Wild, you saw that I was nailing parries earlier today for the most part. And it's not because like I've played a shitload of Breath of the Wild, because I think I've played a grand total of like maybe 5 hours for one stream and watched basically none of it. But the mechanics boil down to like it's a game, and I've played games before and I know timings because I've timed things before. You know what I mean? Or even like puzzle games where like I can take the mechanics that I learned from like Portal and be like, oh, this is like a block puzzle. They're going to use that type of mechanic. I can apply that to this game. And seeing like when I was watching Rhyme, the gameplay footage for that, there were a couple puzzles. I won't spoil anything I know you have a plan to play it, but like there were a couple puzzles in there where I was like, I have seen this puzzle before. I have seen this exact puzzle before, many times before, and it's effectively an empty level. There's no challenge here because I've done that. I haven't even played the game, but I've played the game. You know what I mean? Like, what are they bringing to the table as different? That's what I'm saying is, like, you can kind of come at games with a more critical eye by seeing, like, with the Destiny and Anthem thing, like, I've shot stuff in games before. I've flown around in games before. What does Anthem do that those games didn't do better? You know what I mean?
I don't think Anthem's trying to do any of those things better. I think it's just trying to do all of them to an okay degree.
But that begs the question, then why does it exist?
It exists to make money. Like, it seems as though it's a game. It's a BioWare game, so it's hopefully it'll have a competent narrative. Most of their games do. We'll let Andromeda stand on its own because it was produced by a separate, branch and all that stuff.
And apparently it got better. They updated Andromeda after, apparently. So
wouldn't know. Haven't gone back to it since.
Neither have I.
I might later. Probably not, but we'll see. Like it's just there to serve another narrative, I think. BioWare got tired of doing Mass Effect stuff, so they're like, hey, we're gonna make a new sci-fi universe where we fly around and shoot things. And that's how it works.
See, but the thing is, though, like, you could be like, oh, Mass Effect is just another sci-fi game, but it's so much more than that because of that, like, the narrative and like
because of the narrative,
the actual choice and like the RPG mechanics and like
and
that has a
faces.
Good. Well, I mean, Andromeda, yes. That has reason to exist, I would say. Like, even, Skyrim and Fallout, they hit a huge place in the market that we didn't really have before, except for like Oblivion or like Fallout 3, but they were like, these are like the next step, even though some people don't like Fallout 4 as much. But hi, Toastus, by the way.
Hey, Toastus.
What's up, Toastus?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just I just want to know what Anthem is even doing. Like, I want
I think it's gonna bring a a compelling narrative, and
we didn't see a narrative.
Interesting. Well, yeah, because it was just a gameplay trailer. I think it's a BioWare game. If it doesn't have a compelling narrative, you gotta wonder what BioWare's been
Maybe
doing.
they don't want to make a narrative anymore.
That's like their whole shtick.
I don't know, you said they were tired of Mass Effect, and they stuck to people with guns in space.
I think at this point, their investors as well as their consumers are expecting a certain level of narrative from BioWare, which that's one of the big reasons why Andromeda wasn't as popular, is because the story was apparently a little lacking, and a lot of the animations and stuff like that increased immersion felt like done too quickly and not well. So I would assume it's got some narrative elements going for it, and probably some interesting RPG mechanics, but I don't think you're going to see anything new. It's just going to be a lot of old stuff. Much in the way that Overwatch is a lot of old things sort of perfected.
Yeah,
but I don't think
curious
we're
to see
that level of perfection.
Well, but I think even then, though, Overwatch brings something new to the table. It brings awesome characterization, like just basically unforgettable characters. Yeah, I mean, on top of that, and just solid gameplay mechanics, it does bring. While it's just refining something and not really bringing anything super new,
it is the perfection, the perfected version of all of those old features.
Right,
so,
but like that's what I'm saying is Anthem is doing something that games have already done, like done very, very well. So I don't know what they're doing.
But has there been a game that does all of them? I think that's what Anthem's going for.
Like,
yeah, well, it's kind of the Breath of the Wild approach, where they're just like, fuck it, we're just gonna put as much shit as we can, and we'll see how people like it. A lot of the system isn't like perfect. There's definitely a lot that could be fixed in it, but people liked it, right? So if you throw a lot of shit together, your first-person shooters, your flying around, your mobility aspect, as well as your RPG mechanics, may not be the perfect blend, and it may not be all of them perfected, but at the same time, it gives you the option. And I feel like that's a huge thing for a lot of people. Right, with COD, they tried to do infinite warfare and a lot more mobility stuff, but at the same time, like, it just didn't feel like COD anymore. I think that's what they're trying to do with the whole new IP. Like, it's just trying to bring together a whole group of people that just don't care for one thing.
I think it's gonna sell well purely based on the fact that it's being made by BioWare. A lot of people are gonna buy into that just for the name. So. It might not even have to do anything interesting.
I know, but like, see, the thing is, though, yeah, basically Anthem is 2 steps away from Warframe. Yeah, basically. But like I said, I tried fucking what's it called today, yesterday, Homefront Revolution, and the game was basically, let's take Far Cry, make it slightly worse, yeah, and then put it in a like modern day style or like a future-y style.
It had such a cool concept.
It had a really cool concept, but like I didn't see the reason for the game to exist. Like what designer sat down and was like, you guys have heard of Far Cry? Let's make that again, but we'll put it in America. And then people were like, what the fuck?
I think someone had a cool concept, found some investors that were willing to pay for it, got some devs, said, all right, make the game for me. And a game was made. It wasn't good, but it's a game. So it got, and like the dude that came with the concept was probably like, yeah, that's a game, let's sell it. And then they sold it, and that was kind of the end of it.
Yeah, but then the new Far Cry is in America. That's true. I actually want to play. I like Far Cry a lot, and their gunplay
looks pretty sick.
It's just better than Homefront in like literally every regard. People were like, "Oh, Homefront, the gunplay is pretty cool." I was reading Steam reviews because like maybe there's like a redeeming quality.
Terrible.
And it was just like bad. It was just really
Guns
bad.
Have zero game feel. It's not a well put together game.
If you want to know what it's like to shoot in Homefront, here's a good example. It's like here you go. That's what it's like to shoot in Homefront.
Well, it's always interesting to see some like people go into like different approaches with their games. Kind of like with well, you have COD when it went into Infinite Warfare. You had Halo when it went into Halo Wars, right? It was a deviation off of what the series usually does, but it's definitely like them trying to branch out. It always seems to backlash. The same thing with Far Cry Primal, like
Halo Wars was accepted.
Halo Wars was cool, actually. I like that game.
No, see, that's the thing though. You guys enjoy those kinds of games. The people who were expecting an actual Halo game,
but also it didn't stop them from making
any means necessary.
It didn't replace Infinite Warfare was a game in the main line of the series. Like all CODs are in the main line except for Big Red 1, which was super old, but fuck that.
That was really good though too.
Those games were all part of the COD series, including Infinite Warfare, where Halo had their Halo franchise, and then Halo Wars was just some other thing. They weren't this is Halo 5. Look we're changing it to an RTS. It was we're changing it to we're gonna make a little separate project. So it's a little different, I think, than that analogy between those two games. But yeah.
But you kind of see what I'm saying, though. It's very hard for a lot of these companies to kind of deviate from what they want to do versus what the norm has become for them.
Yeah, yeah. But I think some people are they're looking for something new.
True.
Which is why Anthem is a new IP, but it doesn't feel new to me.
To us, we're PC gamers. We have access to a lot more and a lot more varied types of games than console gamers do.
We have everything.
What are the types of games that you do this type of stuff in multiplayer on console? There's Destiny,
Warframe.
And then what else?
Warframe.
That is just free roaming. I mean, besides
Warframe is on console now, but Warframe's not free roaming. It's mission based.
Yeah, but it's free enough.
The only other one that I can think of is Minecraft.
Plus, Warframe's also super grindy, and this game looks like it's probably also going to be super grindy.
Dude, yeah, an open world RPG game gonna be. Yeah. It's gonna have some grind. Well, and how much do you want to bet they're gonna be microtransactions?
This game's probably gonna be $60.
Absolutely, will be microtransactions.
There's probably a 90% chance that Anthem is gonna have microtransactions.
Oh, definitely. I mean, most Bioware games do. Yeah.
I really wish it weren't the idea of charging a premium price for a game and then also microtransactions. I understand server maintenance is a thing, but fuck, man, you have to
Time Crisis game,
or at least put them in, but make it make everything attainable within a decent amount of time. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be, oh yeah, you can attain everything in the game. You just have to play it for 2 million hours.
It's a time versus money situation.
Yeah, make it not scummy.
Yeah.
But if I have to spend 300 hours to get everything in the game, that's fine. That's an okay amount of time. If I have to spend old Overwatch loot crates amount of time to get everything in the game, then that's not okay. Especially for a game that's at a premium price of $60. Mm-hmm. That's actually silly. Stop that.
Agreed.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else for Xbox that really. Oh, Sea of Thieves. You wanted to talk about that, right?
Kinda. I wanted to mention it, but I don't the trailer just didn't show anything again. If the combat is just what it showed, where or at least the on-foot combat, where it was just the dude, skeletons popped out of the ground and then he shot him with a thing, and then reloaded it and then went over to another skeleton that popped out of the ground and then shot him. It didn't look interesting at all to do the on-foot combat. The on-ship stuff looks interesting, and sailing around the world, and the idea of finding goods and trading them and getting money and upgrading your ship and shit like that. That sounds awesome. But they showed none of that. They showed going into a cave and murdering some dumb-looking skeletons that just kind of popped out of the ground like a mob in an MMO.
Yeah, it didn't impress me at all either. Like, see, that was the thing. Like with Anthem, I realize that you guys have seen this kind of stuff before, but my God, I was sitting there like, good Lord, that looks fun. Like I would enjoy that, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, because like the audio aside, like it just looked phenomenal. But Sea of Thieves didn't even like come close to me wanting to play it.
I think they should have showed more of them sailing around on their ship, and more every single time the camera went underwater. It was beautiful. The screen had this like beautiful turquoise tint to it, and like everything was super colorful, and you could see all the god rays floating through the water.
They weren't wearing swimsuits, but they were. I was like, are they gonna fucking drown? But they were underwater for like a solid like 4 minutes, and I was like,
they were
Jesus,
for a long time. But like every time they went underwater, it was fucking awesome. And then when they were on a boat, it was pretty cool. And then as soon as they got onto the island, shit was like, all right, now it's raid time, which, like, if that's just gonna be like, oh, we go to the islands to like raid shit, and then we go back on our ship, and that's about it. Like, I'm okay with that. But then they should have shown more ship stuff in the trailer. Like, the trailer didn't look good at all.
Here's the trailer. Even the announcer kind of killed it for me. That's what kind of got to me. You know, same thing. Like, if I turned off the audio, this looked very boring. But I turn on the audio, and there's this guy trying to make like self-referential comments and everything. They just came short with demonstrating what this game could be.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why. Maybe I just have a dumb sense of humor, but I found the announcer not to be terrible. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was at least mildly entertaining. It showed that they are aware of certain quirks within the online community, at least, which is like, I get props to that, I guess.
They have their finger on the pulse of the youth of America,
or at least they're trying. Like, they don't need to have it perfectly,
close to the
as
pulse.
long as they're putting some effort. Yeah, as long as they're putting some effort into it, I'm okay with it. But it was pretty bad. Like, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good trailer.
Yeah, I gotcha. I don't know. It just there was something about E3 this year that just kind of felt lackluster. You know, like, I'm glad they finished off with Anthem. That was a good way to finish. But it just felt meh. You know, Bethesda came with like diddly squat, basically.
Bethesda Land, dude, they're gonna make it so you have to pay for mods again.
Woohoo!
Aren't you excited? They're gonna repackage some free mods, but for money. Welcome to Bethesda Land.
Honestly, I don't see paid mods as that big of an issue.
What?
I don't think paid mods are that big of an issue.
But like, this console audience is like captive to having no mods,
it sucks.
Then they're like,
don't get me wrong. If I had to pick between paid mods or free mods, I would definitely go with free mods. But some of those mods, like, it takes people hundreds, if not thousands of hours to create some of these mods, and some of them are fan-fucking-tastic. And a lot of them, especially in like Skyrim and Oblivion and Fallout 4's case, fix a lot of the bugs that the developers left in.
See, but Greg, the thing is, mod players, like, you're gonna say probably that mod like creators need recompense, right? Like,
I don't think they need it. I think they should be able to say, hey, I put 200 hours of my life in this thing. Do you mind giving me $3 for it?
See,
and then
no, but the thing is, though,
fuck off, because it's a mod. Like,
that's the
he should be able to charge for it if he wants to.
I saw an interview with people who make mods, and they're never like, yeah, we're doing it because we want money. They're doing it because they love the game. They're doing it because not only do they want the game, but a lot of those people get jobs because they made those mods.
And those people are going to continue releasing free mods.
Yeah, and they like, if they wanted to charge money for them, I'm pretty sure they would. Like, there are expensive paid mods, but most people don't ask for money because they don't care. Or they don't.
Consoles also didn't have mods before.
Yes.
And I would have to say that paid mods are definitely better than no mods. Free mods are better than paid mods, but, you know, baby steps.
Yeah, true.
We gotta get. They got mods now. That's the thing.
1 foot at a time.
And apparently, there's a way to get the mods for free. I think, or maybe. And I think they can list them for free still. Whether or not they will, I don't know. I think there is a way to do it without paying money, but I could be wrong.
If I had my fucking headband from Naruto, I would totally put that on, say believe it, and then say that I'm the hyperactive ninja from the Hidden Leaf Village.
Why?
All right.
Because that's what I thought of when people said I can't sit still, because I can't.
Should work on that.
Goodness.
It's okay. I can sit still, but right now I'm antsy because I don't, some of the stuff I didn't feel like I could contribute to, so.
Quick reminder to everybody, don't forget to send us any of your question of the weeks. We're going to be doing that at the end of the podcast. So don't forget to send that at legacyofmarkjon@gmail.com. Ah, man. I'm watching the Sea of Thieves thing. It just looks so meh.
Oh, right. I've had that playing the whole time.
I know.
There you
I
go.
wasn't sure if you remembered you'd put it up there.
I did not. So thank you for reminding me.
I think it's going to be a very Passepartout-esque game where the fun of it comes from talking to your friends about it, and though not necessarily playing it with your friends, I guess, with the Passepartout example, but like it's gonna be more of a shell of a game that's there for you and your friends to really have fun with. Like I think it's gonna be more a sandbox than game.
That's fair.
Probably.
And I hope it's good, but it just doesn't look like. Why not just play GTA? Everyone already owns it. Like
That's kind of true, yeah.
Unless the sailing and like the shit like that is really dope, there's just not. There's something about the game has to be interesting, and from what I've seen in the trailers, nothing looks interesting except for the parts that they don't show us at all. Like, I don't know. It could be a really cool game, and I really hope it is.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, it's just the same thing. Like when everybody was excited for Breath of the Wild, a lot of people had to kind of like be like, "Well, we'll see. We don't know yet. We don't know how it'll be." It's hard to tell from just like trailers and minor gameplay stuff how the game will be as a full, right? You know, same thing with when Destiny was first coming out. People were excited, but at the same time, people kind of were just like, but we don't know if it'll be any good. Turned out it was all right, but it was still kind of like this bated breath of we don't know. I mean, what was it? No Man's Sky.
I was about to say, yeah.
Prime example of that sounds amazing, but hold on.
Nobody said, but hold on, though. At the time, that was when I was really hyped about Terraria and stuff, and like playing a lot of Starbound and Terraria, and people saw that trailer and were like, "Mark, are you excited for No Man's Sky?" And I was like, "Nah, I mean, that trailer showed basically nothing. I don't think I should get hyped for this game." And they're like, "But dude, it looks so fucking cool." And I was like, No. I really think we should wait here.
They also, like, they straight up lied in interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, they
about the
did.
game. So
is there going to be multiplayer? Well, I mean, it's
no,
not
there's
direct
like
multiplayer.
there's
but,
screenshots. I remember I was watching God, what was it? It was the Co-optional podcast, and they were talking about it like 6 months after the game came out. The screenshots on Steam showed a fucking armada of ships. And,
also,
like,
they showed a
players,
sandworm.
like, zooming in between them.
A sandworm too.
Yeah.
None of those
Game?
things were there.
Nope. That was probably all of the ship models just stacked there into a picture. Like straight up, like, I don't know, man. That should have violated something. Some rules of trying to sell shit. Like,
I thought they did get in trouble for that.
In it.
I mean, it's just the way it is. Like, if you fail to deliver on something, it just falls flat. Let's face it, it's a kind of cruel way of thinking, but if you fall that flat, you kind of deserve to not do well in that business.
Yeah.
Hi,
you know,
Miller.
like, go ahead.
I just said hi, Miller, to the person in chat. Is all.
What's up, Miller?
What's up?
Oh, hey, Mark.
Yes.
Go.
The Microsoft has announced a new console, an alternative for a slightly cheaper price, known as the Xbox One Sex. That's right, this is a hentai console for all you hardcore hentai fans. You can get any game that was previously not sold by Microsoft. We're selling it all. This is the black market of sex products. Bring a new meeting to connect. Sorry.
Oh, skip me. I don't have anything.
John.
So, Nintendo, after being very, very happy with the results of Breath of the Wild, has noticed that a lot of people have been going in the same direction. However, with the release of the trailer for Anthem, they're like, hey, we want that. I want that. They've decided to no longer give Zelda, or, excuse me, wow, Link, they've no longer decided to give Link any kind of metal shoes or boots or any kind, but they just said, screw it, we're going to give him rocket boots. It's going to fly around now. Now what are you going to fucking do? Now we inspire everyone. We did it first. What are you going to do about it? Mark.
Square Enix has announced a Final Fantasy 15 remake, an HD edition for the recently released game Hit Wonder, but with an added episode Chocobo, where you play as Prompto's Chocobo, and you see all the home life. It's a very dry episode, but it's touching. Lots of baby Chocobos.
It's adorable. Nintendo has decided that after the success of the newly made IP ARMS, that they will be going down the route of a sequel, released in 6 months, called Legs. It's the same game, but with legs. Have fun. Thanks for joining us for the super real, absolutely no fake news here, real news hour. All right, back to the regularly scheduled program.
God, what a great!
You
guys need to get scene transitions for that.
What did you say?
You guys need to get a scene transition for that, so you can do like news style.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh.
Honestly, like if we had like a full studio camera setup, that would have been the most fun thing to have done. Like we don't, obviously, we're nowhere near that big, but that would have been so much fun.
100% would buy legs. Me too. I'm a leg man. Hell yeah.
Well, have either of you guys actually played ARMS? By the way, quick point, Shelby will be coming over in about 20 minutes or so, maybe. So if you guys want to get her take on it, she actually just got a Switch and she has ARMS. That's my experience of ARMS. So anyway, but yeah, Greg, what were you saying?
Was I saying something?
Yeah, you were saying, had you actually played ARMS or no?
No, I have not played ARMS. I really want to because it looks like a really cool fighting game, but
It's a blast.
I don't. The only person I know with the Switch is you and Sawyer, and
No Shelby.
well, I don't know.
Well, you know of her and you've seen her on.
You're aware of her, so that basically counts.
Basically counts.
Yeah, but like, I would love to try it out. Haven't had the opportunity yet. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it.
One of these times, I'll see if Shelby's okay with it. What we could do is we could probably get her to come up. We could do like a 4-piece thing. We could actually play 4-player ARMS if you really wanted to.
Really? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. I'll have to test it out, but I'm pretty sure you can like do 1 Joy-Con per person. And like have 4-player, because I don't have a Pro Controller, neither does Shelby, but we do have 2 Joy-Cons each, so we could probably pull off a 4-player thing.
I am 2,000% down.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. I'll mention it to her when she comes on.
That sounds like a good idea.
But yeah, the game is just a blast. Of course, like hardened veterans like you and fighting games like Greg, Mark, myself, we'd pick it up very quickly.
Oh, it's a fighting game, but it looks kind of like a Punch-Out type.
Greg, you gotta learn the iframes and the combos.
Are there iframes? Are there combos, hit confirms, any of that?
Yes.
Greg, of course there are.
It's a fighting game, but it just depends on the approach. So like,
Miller just followed.
For example,
Thank you, Miller.
Thank you, Miller.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, for example, there's one thing that I kept doing with Shelby is once I had figured this out, this was way, like, an hour into playing, you know. By the way, the motion controls are actually good. It's not a gimmick. It's not.
Well, they
dumb.
took
It's
them
actually
since
good.
2008.
Well, I mean, that was the one thing that they always they were preaching about the Switch. The Switch like had the motion, like they kept on bragging like, oh, it's got like sensitive vibrating things. You can sense exactly. You know, the whole thing with 1-2 Switch was like it was a tech demo. So one of the games was you had to feel how many balls were in a wooden box, for example, if you
get those balls all up in there.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's really good.
Yeah, but they were always bragging about that, and that was one of the tech demos, and supposedly, like, it actually was well done. But, God, the actual motion controls are good. I just hate playing like that. I've just been a button masher all my life, so I can't really transition from button mashing.
Button masher. Gotta go with the timing. It's all about timing. That's the two schools of thought, right? Like you could try to time it, or you can mash it.
True. No, but like it's the same thing with like Smash Brothers. You know, you can button mash, but like there's just if you hit it right at the right moment, it's just ding ding, get it right in there. It's the same thing with ARMS. You know, like you just if you do a precise shot, you will keep like comboing them and just.
John, you're turning into an old person.
How am I turning into an old person?
Oh, I don't need those newfangled motion controls. I just press the buttons and it works. Damn it!
You're not wrong. I'm just like I'm not someone for change. I like it when I know something. So like whenever I have to get a new phone, I'm always upset for like a week and a half.
Really?
I have to get used to a new phone.
I love getting new stuff, dude.
Yeah,
new is always better.
New stuff out.
Hell yeah.
Well, that was kind of like what my big thing was with switching from GameCube to Wii, because the GameCube controller was such a nice controller, and the Wii controller was so meh. Yeah, I learned it, but it was,
Except the triggers. Everything on GameCube controller is great, except the triggers. I hate GameCube controller.
The C-Stick wasn't very good.
I thought C-Stick was fine.
Yeah,
I don't know why they turned it into a niblet though. Like you should have just done a second stick.
I don't know why had it before. Made the triggers only click once you get to the very back of the.
I think it was so you could get like percentages. It was like a.
But what could you actually get percentages?
Yeah. Oh, they like Super Mario Sunshine. You can like press down part of the way of the controller and it'll like shoot so much water.
Well, then I don't know why every game only let you use it once you hit the back click at the very end, which was like.
Well, like Smash and stuff, you can do it by like just tapping, and you don't have to push it down all the way.
True.
Well,
very true.
Maybe it's just a user error then, but
yeah, maybe Greg is just dumb, bad at GameCube.
Rest the controller fine though. Totally cool.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a reason that Nintendo kind of follows up with all the motion controls, but. I'm just happy that they're no longer forcing it on people. Because that was my big concern with ARMS, that they would just be like, nope, you can't do anything but do motion controls.
But that's the thing, right? Because pressing the buttons is going to be more accurate than using the ARM things, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be perfect every time, versus with the motion controls, there's a possibility of it fucking up.
Yeah.
So why have...
Greg, maybe someone's a kinematic learner.
Around if it's like, is this a competitive game at all, or...
It has competitive.
Is competitive? Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. So, like, that's what I appreciate about Nintendo lately. They've been catering to both the softcore gamers and the hardcore. You know, they throw like the DLC out to Breath of the Wild fans for hard mode, which, yeah, granted, it should have been included from the start, but it's there now. Like, they're catering it to people who they know are just like want this, you know, this difficulty spike. You know, they've got ARMS and Splatoon. Like, yeah, you can sit there and have a blast with it on your own with your friends and so on, but it has a competitive market as well. You know, I mean, you can't do that with like some of your other IPs, but you can definitely pull it off with like your internet ones, the ones that are, you know, you can compete with people around the world. And that's one thing that I've really appreciated about it. It's like in the last few years, shit, even during the Wii U cycle, they were actually doing a very good job of like allowing that, like with Splatoon. Nobody thought that was going to be a success, but it just kind of came out of fucking nowhere and blew everything out of the water. I don't know. They've been definitely listening, which is very rare for a lot of companies nowadays.
It's unfortunate, but it really is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, as long as they work with some degree of accuracy, like if 9 out of 10 games, I'm gonna be able to do it with no hitches to minor hitches, I'm okay. But if it's like Wii style motion controls, then...
No. It moves smoothly. So holding it, I'm just gonna get my phone and my wallet. So let's say, sorry for the mic. Let's say this is the controller, right? Moving it like this will move you. You just essentially make this as your joystick.
Okay, I got you.
Right, so you're moving around like that. That's your defense.
And then how are you gonna? You just do a punch to punch, or like that? Like right. if you try and throw like a wild haymaker, is it actually gonna come around or?
Yeah. So what it is you punch and you turn. So you could do like this to actually get the curve on the punch.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting. You like uppercuts and shit. Over under.
You could, because you can jump in the game, so you could do an uppercut if you wanted to.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, and like what makes it cool.
I remember you talking about hit confirms and combos and stuff like that as well. How do those work?
Oh yeah. Oh well, give me 1 second. So they also have the buttons on the top here where you can do the jumping and the dodging. Just quick.
Oh okay.
I keep hitting the mic. Just a quick thing on that. Yeah. So you can definitely like pull off combos, because what you can do is essentially. You can use your super hit move, right? You can dodge that all you want, but you can use that. Immediately after that, you continue to hit. You can hit around someone's guarding.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
The whole point is the curve is like,
yeah.
You can't just sit there and shield up the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And especially with, how many different arms there are. I realize that that's kind of weird, but there are. Let me do the math here. There's 48 different arms.
Oh, and each arm is a different, a different fighter essentially. In a fighting game sense.
There's 8 fighters.
Okay.
8 fighters? Yeah, 8 fighters, and each one has 3. I'm sorry, so that would make it 24.
Dang.
So each there's 24 different arms for every single person to get.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so you can mix and match like a whole bunch of different combinations of stuff, different kinds of items.
Can you have like say like a heavy arm on your right arm and then like a light arm on your left arm or something?
Absolutely.
That's pretty fucking cool. I like that a lot.
And you can have like a trick arm, you can have a shield arm. Like there's just a whole different variety of like what you can do, and it's one of the most varied fighting games I think I've seen in a long time. Yeah. Oh yeah,
really?
Because like the movement of each character, there's one character who, instead of dodging, he'll duck. So like he'll literally just go to the floor, then move, then get up, right? There's another one whose dodge literally lets him disappear in between frames, which lets him kind of like dodge, purely dodge, right? There's another one who has a support character on the side who like gives you cover fire almost. He's not the greatest character, but like the cover fire is what makes him strong.
Mm-hmm.
There's another character who's heavy, who like doesn't get knocked back by a lot, but he's a lot slower. Like it's balanced that way.
I want this game really bad now.
It's a phenomenal game. Again, very boring to watch, but it's a blast to play.
There's a lot of games that people say are boring or aren't enjoyable to watch, like MOBAs in particular, Overwatch, Smite, League, strategy games, StarCraft. I enjoy watching all that stuff, and I really enjoy watching like Street Fighter and Tekken and Smash played professionally. So maybe this game would be perfect for me. Who knows?
It could be. Well, again, that goes into the earlier argument of have you played it and do you have the experience to understand why going. So like I've done so many fighting games that I'm sitting there thinking like in a good match I'm sitting there going like, oh hell yeah, that's a good combo, that's a good setup, as opposed to somebody who doesn't play a lot, just to be like, all right, it's a bunch of people punching each other, what about it?
Yeah.
It's just that whole argument again. Like it's just a matter of what you've seen, because we've all done a fighting game before, you know.
Yeah, we all. I was gonna do an Alcoholics Anonymous joke about doing a fighting game, but
What?
because you said do a fighting game, like as though it were a thing to be done.
Hey,
Got it.
Braid Runner, thank you for the follow.
Braid
Hey.
Runner, thank you.
A Braid Runner. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Thanks for the follow.
Hello, I am Braid Runner. That's not
Ah.
racist, I'm Asian.
Dumb. That was so dumb. But yeah, it's a lot more fun of a game than I thought it would be. I already have a favorite combination of arms. Like there's just okay. So you guys can go watch this on YouTube. But we played Smash Brothers together. I like a character who's cheesy. I also like a good character who's balanced and everything. But cheesy characters are always fun to use.
You should play Street Fighter and then just only play Rashid.
Rashid, I'll try it.
If you ever play
Yeah.
Street Fighter 5, play Rashid. You'd like him.
Next time we all have a session together, we'll do that.
Most definitely. I'll even bring my fight stick so you can use that.
Fight stick?
Yeah,
It's his
What's
penis.
this thing. Hold up, let me.
Right, don't get us banned, dude.
Dude, I'm gonna get you guys banned for sure. This thing. Oh, that way.
Oh
Click-
my god.
Click buttons
Dude,
on it.
I'm gonna suck at that. Give me a controller. I'll do the controller.
Is that what it was gonna sound like?
No, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This thing makes clicking noises too, ready?
Wow.
Oh my
So
god.
cool.
Almost interesting, right? Almost. It's not quite interesting, but it's almost interesting.
So you play with that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I play Street Fighter with.
Interesting, because I didn't know that you could actually hook something up like that.
Yeah,
Dude,
something like
PC
that.
gaming is the future, John!
That's what it's made for. It's made for PS3 and PC.
PC gaming.
Uh,
Future.
I'm impressed, man. I just always forget that there's always like these different kinds of setups. Maybe it's just because I haven't played something.
This thing
like
cost
that
me
in a
less
while.
than the price of a PS4 controller.
How much was it?
$53. I picked it up
Wait.
from eBay.
Well, it was probably worth it for you.
Yeah, it's super worth it.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That-
In my opinion, it's the best way to play a 6-button fighting game.
Uh huh.
It just feels correct. Smash, it would feel super wrong, and like Tekken, it probably wouldn't feel right to me.
Uh-huh.
Skullgirls though, 10 out of 10 works great. What?
Mark, what
Oh,
the fuck are you doing?
I'm playing a song from Trials Fusion soundtrack that goes, "Welcome to the future." I'm proud of myself for that terrible joke.
There was a song by
Oh,
Flight of
the
the
future.
Conchords.
Arcade 6 has been around since like
No,
90s.
but plugging into our modern day PCs, the backwards compatibility is part of the ingenious future that our glorious PC master race overlords have sought out for us.
Sure, we'll just go with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why not?
thanks. Thank you.
We should whip out Guitar Hero.
Dude, hold up. Wait, is it right here? Hold on. Oh, I only have one of them. Fucking bam! Guitar Hero
Damn,
3.
dude.
So
I
you
have,
summoned it. You just summoned it right now. You teleported it to my room. Thanks for that.
I think I have Guitar Hero 3,
I
Guitar
have
Hero
all 3 of them. Well,
Metallica, Guitar Hero Aerosmith, World Tour,
I had World Tour.
also-
and those were for the Wii. So that was like the janky setup where they had the Wii plugged into
Yeah.
like the specific controller. I have 2 of them, one at my dad's house, one at my mom's house. God, I haven't touched those in years.
It's a
I'd
good
love to
game.
try it again.
It's a good game. Like,
Yeah, I'd
it's
be-
thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah,
I had
I'd be
1, 2,
so
3,
down.
and then
I'd be
World
so
Tour.
down to bring my Wii U, plug that shit into my
Dude, hell yeah.
yeah, just put the Wii game in there because it
That's-
can emulate it, right?
By
You
the
plug
way, chat, don't do this unless you're above the legal age, but it's a good drinking game.
What is?
Guitar Hero.
How so?
You just whoever does worse on a song drinks.
Really?
How much do you drink?
It's just a lot of fun because when you get drunk and you're playing it, you're like, "Wow, I'm really good at guitar." It feels right.
How much do you drink per failed song?
I mean, however much you want. Shot.
How,
drink.
Greg?
You just
Greg, you can't just
doing it.
No. You have no concept of society, dude.
No concept of society.
The society that you live in is not the one that I reside in because you just decide the rules when you get there.
Yeah.
That's called anarchy, Greg. That's called anarchy.
Anarchy is fun. I just want to be anarchy, Mark. Why can't you let me be anarchy?
No, that's true. Just drink while you game. Boxed wine for streams is my life. Oh, jeez.
I mean, that works too. It's just a fun game to
always
play
works.
while you're, slightly intoxicated.
Me too. Except I don't drink, but yeah,
I tried playing a Smash with a group of 8 people, and the game was if you didn't get into the top 2, if you got first place, you didn't have to drink. Everyone else had to.
Yeah, there you go.
And it was so funny because I lost the first 2 or something, right? So I drank, but I think it just loosened me up, and I just started winning after that.
Huh.
And
is that how that works?
It just got to the point where everybody was just fucking up because they were drunk. It just became the funniest thing to watch. Because then at one point it was just me standing there and 3 people would accidentally kill themselves. And I'd be like, alright, cool. Easy win. Hey, Greg, quick question for you. What time is it?
Quickly fire. It is 10:22 p.m.
Okay, what other time is it?
Is it sponsorship time?
I think it's sponsor time. Are you ready for this, Mark?
What, me sponsor time?
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. I was like, no.
But are you ready for sponsor time? Take it away, John.
The scratching of metal, you hear it upon the walls. The cage is starting to lift. You're finally free. You run, you run, you run, you run, and all you can see is more metal. Steel. Titanium. Aluminum. Just laced all over the wall. Combinations, some pure, some impure. You run. You hear the alarm sound off in the distance, and you know what it means. But only you know. No one else can understand what's happened to you, what will happen, and how it will happen. You keep running. This is no game. This is life. This is fear. You are running for your own life. Off in the distance, you almost hear, you can almost feel it, you can almost see it, you can almost taste it. Gold. Maybe if you run fast enough, you'll win the gold. But what is winning the gold for you? Is it living? Is it surviving? Is it being able to counter everything that comes at you? This is no game. Not anymore. I mean, this game, the tone of it, this game just means death for most people. You don't know what can be done about it. Maybe you can't get gold, but perhaps silver. No, that's not the right tone either. And this isn't a game. It's copper tone sport. Apply so you don't get sunburned.
Okay.
Points that you're not supposed to see it coming, Mark.
This is pretty good.
9.5 out of 10.
Thank you. Thank you, Braid Runner. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Greg. I've actually been getting better at those just because Steph's just been so busy. So it's like, well, I guess I have to take the mantle. Makes me sad too because the one that I had that was a blast to do was podcast, I think 21 or 22. By the way, everybody, podcast 21 and 22, we lost them. We didn't upload them fast enough, so we lost them. Rip, yeah. We did I did one about the TI calculators, and it was just a really It was A+. Mark hated me for it.
It was pretty good.
But yeah. Hopefully we'll get Steph back next week so we can get some more original sponsor time. Okay. Jesus.
Oh wait, hold up.
Excuse me, I have to go open the door for a Shelby.
That's hard to do while sitting in the position I'm sitting in.
There we go.
Galloping Ghost Arcade in Illinois. That's a long way away, sir.
Were you galloping? And was it a horse ghost?
What if it was just like a person ghost in a horse ghost costume?
Greg, tell me about my sick benefits for being a subscriber to your Twitch channel.
Okay, some sick
Toast,
benefits.
heart.
First off, you get ad-free viewing.
Shit! Greg,
Second
what's
off, you get a box of love as an emote.
a box of love?
Capitalize the L.
Got him! Hell
You get a box
yeah.
of love, which is a toast heart. Second off, if you subscribe for $10 or $25 tiers, you get nothing.
Nice, dude! I'm pretty much in the same boat, but you get nothing for all tiers.
Yeah,
So hey,
you know.
we're gonna have like a surprise guest real quick.
Hey, surprise guest.
It's Shelby.
Welcome to
Hello.
the podcast, John. Thanks for being our guest here.
Well, give it a second.
Welcome
That's
to the
gonna-
podcast, John. Glad you
Yeah,
could join
thanks
us. We're calling in
What?
from East Westerton, Missouri. Well,
Shelby, why don't you go ahead and introduce John for us, since he's the guest on the podcast.
yeah.
What?
Introduce John. He's the guest.
Yeah.
It's only polite.
Yeah, so this is John.
Hi,
Hey.
John.
Yeah.
Alright, you don't have to
cool
follow
cat.
bed anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think he looks like a
I
cat.
wasn't ready. Well, that's where you're wrong.
John, give us a nya. No, it has to be
Only a cat.
a hearty,
Hardy.
a hearty, high-pitched anime girl nya for us.
Yeah, you
Do
gotta
it.
channel your inner anime girl.
Yes!
Alright, there you go. 10 out of 10.
Okay. I wasn't ready for that.
I was we were just talking about arms before you came over.
Yeah, that game was fun, but I got really salty the first time we played.
Yeah.
Tell us
It's a
about it,
fighting
Shelby.
game. Makes sense.
I'm just gonna like pop it right here.
What were you saying? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Greg.
It's a fighting game, so, you know, makes sense to get salty. If it's even semi-competitive, I can understand. I
Yeah.
get salty pretty fast.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, it's bad.
salty
anymore. What?
This is Greg.
Yeah, I've seen him. I don't think we've like met. Have we met?
No, I'm aware of your presence, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I know who you
same-
are as a person.
same here. Yeah.
Mm.
I've seen
Oh,
you on like
Jesus Christ.
I'm back.
stuff.
Good job, Mark. No, you gotta put the ears in front so they stand up.
Those are so cool. Wait,
Shelby, you
What?
can't unironically like this, please. Don't unironically like this.
it really throws me off how there's a delay here. Why?
Just look up here.
Okay.
Yeah, Shelby.
That's why I have that here.
But like
Nice to
seeing
meet you.
myself like,
I'm Emark.
say things that I had said
Mark.
10 seconds ago, and
Emo work.
it's weird.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Emark.
We haven't done the new format yet. That's probably why.
I mean, I've watched it. I just haven't. Yeah.
You haven't seen behind the scenes.
Wait, but Mark, do the ears like pop out, or was that you just? Okay. I thought like a string moved the ears.
No,
And I
I'm
was
not.
really-
Oh, that'd be
no.
great.
That would be. That would
Like,
actually be
animate
pretty
your
cool.
ears on the fly.
I'm not gonna cross that line, Tiger. Not today.
Hey,
Could
you
could
made
could
John
get a raw
a
XD?
meow, so it's only fair.
Well, I mean, at this point, the RAR
Well,
XD is
well.
only mere seconds away, right?
Make a RAR
Greg,
XD. Hold
What do
on.
you have to do?
Huh?
Raw?
RAR.
Hold on a second. You guys keep talking here. I got an idea.
Greg, you got to do the neon now. Go.
Oh, I have to do it too now?
Well, I feel like
Is that good enough?
What about you? Come on.
I did my part.
No.
What am I doing? A rar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, high pitch, like yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Is that it?
That was a really fast
Oh.
one. Who did that one?
With
Someone did like a really fast, like, yeah.
Shelby, why am I running?
Oh.
Why are you putting it on your Skype window?
It's on. Oh, is it reversed? Oh, on Skype it's reversed, but on stream it's normal.
I'm proud of that.
No, that's correct.
Welcome to the stream, Shelby.
Oh, that's too late. I've been absorbed into the. Yes, that's a fun
Oh
word.
boy.
Giannis?
Giannis.
Giannis.
It's like you're trying to say a different word.
We're like the edgy Tumblr kids now. Get ready.
Anti-Tumblr kids?
Edgy Tumblr kids.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Oh, yeah,
like,
with
yeah,
that
you're the
haircut.
embodiment of Tumblr kids
Mhm.
right now.
Yeah,
Look at
I'm
Mark.
trying to make it
Yeah.
as edgy as possible. So
We did this whole thing at the very beginning where everybody was making fun of him. Or not making fun of him, but they were like poking fun at it.
Funny.
it,
So
I mean, it
That's the best
deserves
patch I've
it.
ever seen.
So they kind of call him Marky, occasionally they call him Mork.
Work?
Yeah, so they called him E-Morky.
Welcome to the
And I just
jungle,
pictured, like, an emo-
Nightcore Mark.
Or like a emo Yorkie.
An emo Yorkie.
Like
That's
the
Mark.
dog, like a little puppy.
That's-
Okay.
Yeah.
Just imagining bangs on that thing.
Mark, you look like the epitome of raw XD with those cat ears. I'm glad that I have the capacity to be the epitome of raw XD.
Are
That
you glad
is-
about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad
Yeah.
that there is the potential for that, and I didn't actually do that unironically.
Yeah, fair enough. I see where you're going with it. It could have
Did
happened,
you-
but it didn't. Alright.
Yeah.
Mark
Uh,
loves to
fair
yeah.
So let's veer this a little closer to the video game stuff again.
I mean,
We just got a lot of. Come on.
I feel like I was partly to blame.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna try
Wait.
and make it through a serious topic while dressed like this. So let's go.
Good luck.
Okay, so we were covering a whole bunch of the E3 stuff. Bethesda sucks. Xbox meh. Ubisoft did the whole Mario Rabbids thing. What do you guys think of that?
Cool. Still don't have a Switch, so I don't know.
It looks like XCOM for babies, but I
It
mean,
looks cool.
it looks like XCOM, like straight up just
Put the
XCOM.
trailer up.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea. What was it? Mario
Mario
Like-
plus Rabbids.
Rabbids.
Kingdom Battle.
I'm not gonna
real
put all
shit
that.
at XCOM, so I don't mind an easier XCOM.
It's very true. So
Like, that's
XCOM
okay
with
with
this turn-based combat thing where you have like your army and you're fighting a bunch of aliens,
Mm-hmm.
and so it has like percent chance to hit and so on. It's brutal. You lose somebody, you lose them forever.
Oh.
So if you get really invested in a character and they've survived like 10 battles and then they die on the 11th battle, they're gone.
Yeah,
Forever.
and the worst part is
Real
all the
nice. That's
experience
horrible.
they got.
Yeah,
It's
and the worst
gone.
part is
Like all the experience, the weapons they had.
Oh, it's the rabbits.
Yeah,
and if
so they-
Mario dies in this game, he's dead forever. He never comes back. He gets brutalized by the other enemies. Who are they fighting? Oh, they're fighting more Rabbids.
Yeah, so they're fighting evil rabbits. But it's like a really interesting like turn-based combat system. It's just like XCOM, but again, you don't know what XCOM is. But it looks
It's like Fire Emblem.
Yeah. It's similar to Fire Emblem.
Yeah, which is really just looks like it's gonna be fun. And from what I
Also-
understand, like the gameplay is pretty tight.
There was a interview with the creative director for XCOM, and they showed him the trailer, and he was like, "Yeah, I saw it. I saw it at E3." And then they were like, "What do you think of this?" And he was like, "I mean, it's okay."
Really, he was just being like polite about it. He's like,
Well, he was like, "I'm actually glad that there are more people doing this stuff because it's like an underappreciated genre."
Yeah.
And he was
And-
like glad that someone, and he was like, I mean, if they do something better than XCOM, just know that that's going to be an XCOM 3. And then they were like, that's great.
Yeah, that's like the only thing this can do is bring more attention to the genre, because XCOM probably isn't going to be on Switch, and this probably isn't going to be on PC or anything that XCOM is on. So they're not really sharing market space, and it's just getting more possible people into the genre. So it could only mean good things for.
That's what they basically.
XCOM.
That's what he said, basically. Yeah.
Well, it's the whole thing of Nintendo's kind of finally listening. They're just letting the turn-based combat happen. You know, like instead of just sticking to their original IPs, they're finally branching out a little bit. Granted, Rabbids are a Nintendo exclusive IP, but that's still kind of like allowing third parties to jump in.
Miller, thank you for the follow.
Thanks, Miller.
Nintendo exclusive, I don't think, are they?
The second Miller.
There can be more than one.
No, it's like another Miller liked us earlier.
One Miller. There can only be one.
One Miller to rule them all.
One Miller to rule. Yeah. Also,
Well,
by the way, if I look like this while I'm looking at the screen, it's because I have to look underneath my hair that's covering my eye, and it's very annoying.
It's okay.
Your dedication to this bit is noteworthy. Like,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right.
It also keeps tickling my fucking eye. It's very annoying. God, I can't. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be like this anymore. But I'm sticking with my guns.
Fair enough. John, do you have any thoughts on it?
On what? Rabbids?
Rabbids plus Mario.
I'm interested. I'm like definitely interested to see if it ends up being good or not. Because I always liked the Rabbids games. I always, appreciated them. So I'm kind of hoping that they do a good job of emulating what they were and what they meant to Nintendo. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do beyond just like the first stage, because that's all I've seen. Like how they'll make it a harder game, or to see if they even make it harder, or if it's just going to be baby cakes the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what made XCOM so enticing, was that it was a tough game. It had its challenges, absolutely. So if they're trying to emulate that whole thing, they've got to make sure that they make it tough themselves.
I mean, from the stuff that I did see, the AI looked like actually pretty good. Like they were making moves that made sense and were pretty brutal because they were hitting the characters pretty hard. But it looks like your characters are a lot more tanky in this one, whereas XCOM they would like die if you make one wrong move. This seems like they make good moves, but your characters are like equally. They're like it seems like more of a numbers check than like a. Than a straight up strategy game. Something more along the lines of like Fire Emblem, where you gotta level up people and like you smack a high level dude against a low level dude and the low level dude dies, and it kind of more is determined not based on like tactics but who attacks first or stuff like that. That's kind of what it looked like to me.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas XCOM is way more about positioning and like playing it safe.
XCOM is more about that stuff, but it looks like they're vying away from the random nature of XCOM, because there's a lot of times where you can have a proper positioning in XCOM, or at least it looks like it's proper positioning, and then you make one wrong move, someone dies, and half your team gets turned into like zombies that the aliens control, and that basically just kills that mission for you. It
gets pretty tough. Yeah.
Well, a lot of the problem is it's like you'll have like an 85%, like you'll run a recruit around to go flank an enemy, and he'll be out in the open essentially, so you can get a flanking shot, and it'll be like 85% chance to hit, and he'll miss, and then he'll get killed, turned into a zombie, and then that freaks out all your other squad mates who start panicking and shooting their own friends, and then more of your friends get turned into zombies, and basically that one move just kind of starts this downward spiral of you being fucked.
See, Greg, the thing is though about XCOM in that regard, where I see where you're coming from, definitely, but in many ways, the like real strategy layer is being able to mitigate those disasters, because like a lot of beginners will do that, where they're like, I'm definitely going to make this 85% shot if I move here and put this person out in danger if I just do this, where the core of the game is saying, if that 85% chance misses, do I have a contingency plan to not start that downward spiral? You get what I'm saying?
That's a lot of the reason the game is hard, in my opinion.
Yeah, right.
And it looks like Nintendo's vying away from that. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do make it difficult. Like
so the whole point with XCOM was that you could remake every single one of your characters to look however you wanted them to look, reflavor every single person so that they looked and had a uniqueness to them. But the problem is that with Nintendo, they're having 8 characters only. So the point is they're going to die permanently for that match alone, but for the next match,
and those 8 characters are going to be based off of
so it's not really
Nintendo characters already.
Right. So I doubt that they're going to get rid of those characters permanently. Like maximum is like the first person who dies can't be in the next match, but will be in the match following or something.
Yeah.
But I don't see how they can. Excuse me. I don't see how they can pull off the XCOM formula without like being able to just throw out that whole side of it. You know.
They might do something like removing characters for like story reasons. That I could see that happening, where they're like, "Oh, Luigi's busy fucking Daisy right now, so he can't be in this next battle." I could see that happening, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they could do permanent death, or if someone dies, they would fail the whole mission or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know. It'd just be interesting to see what they pull off.
That's definitely what I'm going to keep my eyes on for sure.
Oh yeah. I'll probably end up getting it. It comes out, I think, in August, right?
John, if you play that game and not
Switch too.
If you play that game and don't play XCOM, we can't be friends anymore.
I've played XCOM.
I'm saying beat XCOM. If you're like, man, Rabbids plus Mario is a masterfully designed game, and you're like, I beat that whole game. I have 40,000 hours in Mario's plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I'm going to be like, John, I swear to God.
We're not friends anymore.
But here's the whole thing with that. So I played XCOM for, I think, 12 to 13 levels, and I got to that point where I had one character who basically I said, I called him We Livin', because he would always come really close to dying but never would die, and he would always come in clutch. Then one match, he missed three shots that were supposed to be hitting at a 90% rate. And then he got shot 3 times that all 3 of them hit at a 20 to 30% rate. And at that point, I essentially rage quit and said, no more. I am done.
That's part of the XCOM thing.
That's part of the fun, game, dude. You have someone standing in the background ready to huck a grenade for some confirmed damage or something. Bazooka.
I know, but it's
Bazooka, bubblegum.
I had the same problem, John. It's just there are times where you think, from the knowledge that you have of the map and where the enemies are and stuff, it seems like where you are is a perfect position, and then the game will just kind of choose to fuck you and be like, "Oh, actually, you're super exposed." And
that's usually something that you missed, though. I mean, I've played through like all of XCOM 1 and all of XCOM 2, and I mean, I've seen like videos of people playing it, and they're like, "Man, how did that enemy get there?" It's usually just someone they forgot, or someone like sometimes there are times where they'll be like, "I'm gonna throw a grenade and blow up your cover, and now you're fucked." That's like, yeah, I mean. Couldn't really see that coming, but
there'll be times where I'll have a dude moved up like kind of far ahead. It'll be like one of the shotgun dudes that has a sword or whatever, and he'll be like up ahead, like behind like a tree or something for full cover from one direction, and then a random enemy patrol will come from like the side. And
that's the game does that. It'll basically not let you show. It'll like black out certain areas, and if you just like for example, if there's a building, you won't be able to see inside the building unless you actually go into the building yourself.
But an enemy that walks into your area on their turn cannot attack.
True.
So, even then, even if you find a pod, they won't be able...
so like similar to your game?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They won't be able to attack on your turn, ever. So you always should be prepared, like move forward carefully, have... things left over or turns left over, so that if someone does pop a pod, then you can be ready to deal with it.
There are times where you'll end your turn with your dudes in that position and cover, and then during the enemy's turn, they'll move into your line.
Yeah, no, they can't attack that during that time. If they walk into your,
you're still flanked though is the problem.
Right, then means you have to readjust, which is part of the
adjusting might leave him flanked in other positions. Like it's
right, but that's the difficulty of the game. There you go. That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The difficulty in the game isn't from. It's not just tactics that make it hard. There's also I can miss what should have been a sure shot, and I can get hit by things that shouldn't have hit me.
Right, but like I said,
the random nature of the game.
I feel like most strategy games in that regard are a little too easy. Whereas I think the genius of XCOM is that they put you in tough spots that you have to work your way out of.
That's kind of the point of the game, right? At least from the first one. The first one was like the odds are stacked against us. Like that's not a game that should be beaten on the first playthrough. But I got you. I don't know. It's not. Maybe it's just not a game for me. I don't know.
Plus, it seems like the enemies have abilities that are stacked against you. You're definitely right. Like in the beginning of the game, you are fighting things that are way stronger than you, and in fact, all the way up until the end, you're fighting things that are way stronger than you in XCOM for sure. But like overcoming those challenges and mitigating like the other enemies, and then being able to focus down the tough things that's really fun to me. I don't know. I find that very enticing. Like having people who are like dedicated to dealing with those big like fucking mechtoids and like having to worry about snipers and like. I just love XCOM. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking crazy, but
it's a strong game, and that's kind of what has to be said about the way Nintendo approaches things. They take a genre that usually goes towards hardcore gamers, and they bring it back to the rest of the people. They simplify it for a lot of other people. So Mario plus Rabbids, it sounds like a silly title and a silly game, but it's a well-constructed version of something that most only hardcore gamers will play. Let's look at another title. Metroid Prime, for example, was a first-person shooter using Metroid, or rather using Samus. And you're just sitting there like, this is not something that could have been done with Nintendo with any other IP except for Metroid, and they pulled it off. They just have a way of bringing other genres and just kind of plopping it there. Think about, again, Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors. Both kind of games, those were not things that Nintendo would have ever done, before 2010, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that one, I don't think so much speaks to the quality of Nintendo's innovation so much as the Warriors franchise spreading itself like the virus.
How many of those games are there now?
1,000. I looked at the studio that makes those games. It's like, we made like 3 pretty good games, and then they have like 40 Warriors games, and I'm like, fucking Jesus! They had One Piece Pirate Warriors, which, to be fair, is really good. Like the music is great; it all fits One Piece. I mean, all of those games fit what they're like made into very well, right? Like,
so the telltale of what, like mass murder simulator? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean. You're not wrong. That's kind of exactly what they are.
Telltale is like the people who do like the Walking Dead games, and then the new Guardians of the Galaxy game that's coming out,
and the Game of Thrones game.
Yeah, like they just make a whole bunch of these games with their own artistic styling and their own story,
like off of a movie,
based off of like a series, right? Minecraft, they said Minecraft story mode, and it was like a bunch of like 5 or 6 episodes worth. Like, it's not necessarily like phenomenal or anything, but it's good enough that people keep coming back to them and funding them to make them more,
Okay, so
same
it's
thing,
like little stuff.
Yeah, so same thing with like Warriors. Hyrule Warriors did well enough that it could have spawned Fire Emblem Warriors. Like it just depends on like the picking off point. You know what I mean?
I actually kind of want to go back and play One Piece Pirate Warriors. Those games are really fun. They're just like crazy. Like you're just blowing shit up all the time. Like, I mean, but in like One Piece, it makes sense. Like
we should play Hyrule Warriors together. I'll bring my Wii U over.
I mean, I've played Hyrule Warriors. I think I technically owned it for a while, but now it's gone. I didn't really like it that much. I mean, for one, that's not what Legend of Zelda was ever about for me. Like, cutting like hundreds of enemies down doesn't really fit that franchise in my mind. And that's fine. Yeah. Like, if someone's into it, then sure. I mean, I'm not going to say don't play the game. But it's just like, it was already that game and actually at the time I was playing One Piece Pirate Warriors. But like, you've seen One Piece. Yeah, I know, John, you've watched it. And there are times where the crew is fighting like hundreds of dudes all the time, and it fits so well. It's really cool to like be like, hey, I'm Luffy. I think there was just an earthquake. That was fucking weird. Like my door. My door jiggled. Well, I mean, Greg, we're like 15 miles away. You might feel it.
It's not that far.
Someone's in your house, Mark. Run.
As it goes.
Run.
Your house is haunted.
Hey,
if someone's in my house.
Swords, it's Mark's Sword Corner.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Give me like 10 seconds. Okay, I'm ready.
Go.
Mark's Sword Corner.
Dun, 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 dun. Did you guys know that... Wait, let me change the topic. That's important. Mark's Sword Corner. Okay,
well,
so
now
did you know...
changes the topic.
Shut up. Did you know that there are these things in... I think they originated in China, known as sword breakers. Sword breakers were not actually swords, but if you were to look at one from this angle, it would look just like a sword. But really, it's a mace. It's an elongated mace with 4 corners, so it would have... Essentially, it's like 2 swords clipping through one another. And they were meant to hit the sideways part of a sword, not cut anything, but break other people's swords. I think those are really cool.
Did it work?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you have to be
They're
like
incredibly
holding it
effective.
really hard for it to import.
It's very well, like it's tempered really well.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Like, if you just let the blade be turned aside by it, it wouldn't break, right?
What do you mean?
Like, unless you were holding the blade super hard, the person trying to break yours wouldn't.
Well,
like,
the thing is, you're supposed to get so much force behind it that it doesn't matter what the other person does. You just snap their blade in half.
You gotta hit it like really hard.
Well, like the way it works is it's all focused to one point. So like, and obviously the weakest.
It's focused across a line on the blade.
Well, it kind of depends on how you hit it, I guess.
Sorry.
Greg, don't question. I mean, I didn't actually ever use one. I just think they're cool. Jesus.
It's supposed to be facts, right?
Well, they exist. I'm just pointing out that they existed. That's my fact, you fucking...
Fair enough.
Jesus, Greg.
Goodness.
Hold on. Sword breaker. I will show you.
Are you going to show it on the podcast? You're going to put a picture up of it?
It's very hard to see in a picture because they're like... Obviously, if you look at it from the side, it doesn't really look like one.
So from the top, it kind of looks like an X.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like an X, basically.
Okay.
But they were meant usually for swords that are very, like, flimsy, you know? Swords that were very thin, like cutting swords that were meant to, like a katana. Easy.
The ultimate cutting weapon. But Mark, it was folded 330 million times by an expert swordsmith.
Next time on Mark's Sword Corner, how folding does absolutely nothing. All right. Anyway,
I would love to hear you say, like, how many times can you fold a sword without it breaking? Plot twist: don't fold it; it'll break the sword. So we're getting close to the end of the podcast here.
Question time, right?
So yeah, it's kind of a short question, but yeah, don't forget, by the way, you guys can send your questions over to excuse me, legacy of MarkJon at gmail.com.
Gmail.
Don't forget that you guys can send your questions there. We answer them at the end of the week. Real quick, before we head out, or before we do the question, Greg, where can people follow you?
Hey, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Twitter's twitter.com/ABoxOfToast. Twitch is twitch.tv/ABoxOfToast. You can follow me on SoundCloud. I think it's just /official. I'll put the link in chat. You guys can check that shit out. I actually just released a song like 2 days ago. Not even.
Oh.
Not that
I guess
long
we'll have
ago.
to check it out, huh?
If you want. It's pretty trash, but you can do what you want with it. Downloads are enabled, so you can download it if you want. Have trash on your computer. It's great. Will make the rest of your computer look better by comparison.
Steelers.
That's about it.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. Thank you. So the question of the week this week is from Toastus. Thanks for your question, buddy. It says, "Hi Mark, hi John. I think I speak for all your fans when I ask this. The podcast has been going on for nearly 3/4 of a year. Really? Hasn't it?
Started
Had
it like last summer.
the podcast last summer? No, we started in January.
That's true.
Been
We
going
did
on
start
for a
in
while.
January.
Okay, well, let's say it's 3/4 of a year. Hey, so
Anyway.
3/4 of a year, and we all enjoy the people on the broadcast. But I think we all agree there is one person on the broadcast that we all root for the most. So I must ask, will Pumpy be making a glorious return this fall? Thanks.
Rather-
Toast it.
I think Steph
Reincarnation.
did mention that Pumpy would be making a return.
Most likely. I mean, that was a huge thing for everybody out in the past, and I'd love to have Pumpy on again. I'm just, the one benefit of having Steph move out is that I don't have to have a rotting pumpkin in our house anymore.
Hey,
It really builds character.
Fuck.
That's true.
It doesn't. So yeah, I think that'll be making a return. Steph's going to be making a return next week. We should be having a video of Pumpy, the original Pumpy, getting cut into a billion pieces soon.
Oh, I still have to edit it, but I'm lazy.
Death to Puppy.
Yeah, death to Pumpy. So
Aw.
we got Pumpy and we took her out to the field back here. And
I finally
Put her
cut
on
my
my-
rival down.
I know.
Dang,
So
that was like
yeah, we just made a video of us cutting the crap. We had a blast doing that too. It's because I feel that's a nice little 6-month ritual that we have going on there.
sure.
It is. Anyway, everybody, thanks for joining us for the podcast. I think we can head out like a minute or two early. Any last thoughts, anybody?
Subscribe to me!
Yeah,
Fuck
subscribe
you!
to Mark.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you're not streaming right now, so don't subscribe to Mark.
Subscribe to me! Oh,
Go subscribe to Mark. Go to twitch.tv/BearTaffy.
Marksman 48.
48. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for podcast number 24. Catch us next week for number 25, where we're going to have Steph back and maybe some other guests. We don't know. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on here. Thanks for
And
joining us, everybody, and thanks
thank
for
you to all the new
follows, and we hope to
followers.
see you all
Woo.
next week. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.